Hi, and thanks for stopping in. I wanted to take the opportunity to not only show you one of the new villains, but also to try out the old new camera for those that saw the post about the Father's Day gift. It's one of the reasons why I'm kind of glad I waited to show you these things, because instead of recording on the old iPhone now, they got me a decent camera, which is pretty cool. We're testing out settings, testing out the mic and everything else, because I have no videography experience whatsoever. I'm really just a point and shoot kind of a guy. But hey, see how it works. Sorry that it's in 4K and you have to see all this. But tonight, since it's about 1 a.m., I wanted to show you the Ancient Burial Ground. Now, the Ancient Burial Ground is one that was recently unlocked and is now included, of course, in every box of the Slaughterville 2. And it takes homage from films, of course, again, I'm sure you're probably aware, the Pet Sematary, Poltergeist, things of that nature, where it's hauntings all around. The spirits are trying to gain power, and that's really their goal here. In fact, again, nice new layout. You can see everything very clearly. Easier to read than... Let me grab one of the older ones. Again, I like Walker's Carnival and all, but if you look at the text comparison, there isn't one. Easier to read, squinting. So, again, that's one of the reasons why I want to do the update for them. But, ghosts, demons, and undead are +1 attack for this one, +1 combat. If the spectral power is equal to the number of players +3, the villain abducts a character of a random player. Now, since we're only playing a solo game, he abducts my character. Now, I know what you're probably thinking is about scaling, and I've heard that a lot from some of the other villains, that maybe the scaling was a bit off. Believe me, it was heard, it was understood. I put a lot into working on scaling and matching all of these different villains for this set, and I'd like to go back and do the old ones, which I still might do in a future director's cut errata if we, God forbid, don't hit that. But yeah, if he ever gets to number of players +3 in spectral power, they can abduct the character. They put it next to the villain starting area, and that's how this person wins. And then we would reset the spectral power back to the starting value. Now, the starting value is also based on the number of players. 1 to 2 players, starting value is 1. So he has to get to a 4 before he abducts anybody. Or whatever this is, Ancient Burial Ground. It's the power of the spirits. So, also, if the Ancient Burial Ground wins a single combat round, not only do they deal you damage, but they increase this too. So let's see. Yeah, 1 and 1 to 2 player game. Win-loss. The villain wins when abducted number of characters is equal to... For a 1 to 2 player game, it's 5. So they have to kidnap 5 characters, which sounds like a lot, but it's not really. When the villain turn, the villain pawn goes to a random location, overturns 3 cards. Put all enemies drawn on top of their location. You increase the spectral power by 1 for each enemy overturned. Oh, also, when you're abducted, it's assumed that only you're taken, your items, clues, and allies actually go to the next character. So you don't lose them. You're not starting fresh with each one. You get a new character, which, hey, we have quite a few, with more coming. But all of your items, clues, and allies will stay with the new character. Alright. And then again, we have all these villain deck cards that are going to increase the spectral power, depending on how well you do on the tests, depending on how well prepared you are. Alright, so now we have here the swamp, the prison, the museum, the ski lodge, the school, and I threw in the house on Haunted Hill again because that was one of our expansion locations from the first game. So, let's get started. Put this on 1. Move this here. I'm going to go to prison. Let's see. Riot. It's a ghost event. It's clear that a fire has happened recently. Voices rise in anger. Hands grab you from behind and shove you against the wall. They seem solid even though you can see through the person. Rolling a 1d6. That's a 6. A clearly insane pair of eyes bore into you. Spectral hands close around your throat. Ghost inmate, combat of 3. Well, I have 2 for the homeless man because that's the one I've decided to take today. So that'll be 2 for me versus 3 for them. And we tied. Let's do this again. 3 for them, 2 for me. That did not go as well as I had hoped. So I take 2 damage. Down to 6 health. Let's go 1 more before we try to run. Ta! I knew the homeless guy could do it. Nope, flip you over right. So there we go. We've beaten the riot. Now again, if you remember, with a single player game, you have 4 actions a turn. We've done 2, we've moved, and we've encountered. Let's keep looking around the prison for some reason. Yes, Mason the inmate. He was one of the other citizens that became an ally. It says, the bars of the cell nearly rattle off their hinges as the prisoner stares into your eyes. He says that he knows what has been happening and will help you, but only if you help him escape. You have to get the keys to the cell from one of the guards. Here comes one now. Make 2 agility checks. If you succeed at both, attach Mason to get 2 combat. If you fail, the guard notices you and he fines you 1d3 items and or clues. So let's see. Of course my agility is 2. 1 and 2. So we have rescued Mason. Excellent. I'm going to go from there to Ski Lodge. And that'll be all 4. So, villain turn. He runs to 1. He's at the swamp. Overturns 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. There were no enemies. So the spectral power does not rise for that. We overturn the villain card. It says gather energies. Players may detach 2 clues as a group to discard this card without it taking effect. And that's one of the ways you can prevent these spectral powers from rising is you use the knowledge you've gained to counter the spectral power. But since we didn't, the Ancient Burial Ground heals 1d6. What's nice about getting this card now is there's nothing for him to heal. Increase the spectral power by 1d3. Handy dandy. Dink dink. So the spectral power is now 3. He needs 1 more, and the old homeless man there gets abducted, taken to the other side. No TV for him. Which again is why we had that TV in the first graphic thing, because of this villain. That was my thinking there, just so you don't think I'm completely insane. Now, if we ever go to fight this Ancient Burial Ground, its attack, its combat, is equal to the spectral power. So for us, it would behoove us to attack early, because we want to overturn as much of this as possible. So let's see what will happen. You know what? Let's do it. So we come over here to fight this Ancient Burial Ground. We want to stop these spirits. And we know that somewhere over here in the swamp is a burial site or a ritual site. And we're going to take it down. So we have our He has 3 because he has 1, 2, 3. And I keep saying he, but you know what I mean. Versus 4 because we have Mason. And we have our homeless guy with 2. Don't let me forget the clue, just in case something goes horribly wrong. So this one got 2 versus our 2. I think I would like to spend that. I should have, no, I know what I should have done, but I didn't, so I can't take that back. Oh, that was nice. So we got 2 more than what the burial ground did. So we deal 1, we deal 2, and the burial ground says, nope, I'm going home. Excellent. Although, yeah, homeless guy's probably getting abducted pretty quick. But he put up a good fight. He tried. So, that was 1, because we moved over. The fight was free. Let's look around at the swamp, see what happens. Event item. A cluster of plants are growing in the middle of the bog. Always eat plants you find in the bog. 4. You remember reading about these in one of your textbooks. Can you recall what you learned? Make a perception check. Let's see. Now again, for those that have the old version, the perception was the eyeball. Now it's a magnifying glass. So, my perception is 2. And I didn't get it. Nope, I have no idea what these plants are. 2, 3 in the swamp, safe for now. Anybody ever remembers what safe for now is, you can use this to instantly escape from combat. So you stick that in your inventory and use it later. And last but not least, the hunter. A voice tells you to stop. A person wearing a camouflage suit steps out of the bush and asks what you're doing in the swamp. Make a nerve check. Again with 2, I got that one. To see if you can convince the hunter to join you. If you succeed, attach hunter to gain a combat and perception. If the hunter's attached when you encounter the hunt event, you get a bonus for that. Yeah, there's an event in the swamp called the hunt. You'll get a bonus for it. Alright, so that was my 4. That was my 4. He says, speaking of 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Oh no, not the ski launch. Yep. There's 1 enemy. There's 2 enemies. And 2 enemies. So those 2 enemies go on top. This would go up by 2, but because it goes up and abducts someone, what it does is it abducts and then resets back. Doesn't keep going. Starts it back at the beginning and just leaves it there. Gives you a chance to retaliate. And then we get a handy dandy new character. Because for some reason, the homeless man was abducted. We are now Ichabod Crane. Yes, Ichabod Crane was a character that came with our Headless Horseman expansion villain. So you could get him there. Let's see. He will not have the damage. Ghosts, demons, and undead are +1 against you. Jesus, God in heaven. So that means ghosts, demons, and undead are +2. Probably not a good one to bring up against the ancient burial ground. I can see him getting abducted quickly. However, add your perception to any other attribute for a single attribute check. And he's 4 on that, so that's a good thing. But we don't have any clues. We'll get there. Alright, so that was just his villain turn. Now we got possessed toys. People say that teddy bears are cute, but when they are brandishing a knife, they can be less adorable. Combat the possessed toys, 3. So I have 4 versus 3. Okay, so we got them. But then it says increase spectral power by 1, so we do that. That's right. We're still interacting with the with the spirit realm, so their power still increases. But it does happen after the attack on this one because that's the order we put it in. So now what do we wish to do? Let's go tell the ancient burial ground to get out of here. Let's banish these spirits. So I get 4 versus that handy dandy 2. And would you believe no, you know what? Ugh, I can't take it back. I gotta stay honest. If I were being dishonest, I'd say, no, I meant to use the clue to add his perception to the check, but I forgot. Simple as that. So I have to use it for a reroll. And I failed. So, since he does 1 damage, I take that damage, and the spectral power goes up. Because remember, anytime you do the single combat round against the villain, damage you take also increases spectral power. He stays out. We are sent back home. That was 1 to move over. Let's take Ichabod Crane to the museum. Yeah, let's do that. The Art of Combat. An original copy of this book sits in a locked case. Try to unlock the case. Make a agility or perception. Well, you're going to make a perception check. For you, it's a 4. And we failed at it. So we do not get the Art of Combat. You're caught by security and forced to leave. Move to an adjacent location. Well, an adjacent location, we could fight the bad guy. It would be 3 to 4. That would be a risk and a half, wouldn't it? Well, no risk, no reward. We still have our 4 versus that 3. 1, 2 versus 1, 2, 3. We got him. Goes back home. So that was, we started here, 1, then we explored 2, then we moved, encountered, which caused us to move over there, so that's 3. We have 1 more to do. What do we wish to do? Now if we fight these, that's a free action because they're on top. That's a 5 combat from the Yeti. You know what? Let's let them sit, and we're just going to head on over and say hi to the school. Because he seems like he'd do well at the school, since you can use perception as combat at the school. Let's leave him there. But for now, you go to 2. Oh yeah, he could die here. Well, be abducted, not die. Nope, we're okay. Oh, the Widowmaker. And there it is. That's a shiv. So he's at 4. And that is officially number of players plus 3. So it goes back down. And Ichabod Crane is now abducted. That goes away. And we get the Jock. Okay. Darn. I liked Ichabod. He would have been nice. We'll start. Yeah, we stay where we were. That's this villain. Alright, so we start with our 4. You know what? We have 6 attack now. Between the Jock's 4 and Mason's 2. Well, let's see what this does. Slamming doors. Ancient burial ground repeatedly slams all of the doors in the first player's home. First player must make a nerve check. Your nerve is 2, Mr. Jock. And you make it. Very good. Succeed. Move to any location and encounter it as a free action. Increase the spectral power by 1. Yeah, because again, we're constantly interacting with the spectral power. Let's do the House on a Haunted Hill. Over the railing. You're standing at the railing and admiring the view and craftsmanship when something pushes you from behind. Make an agility check. Yeah, the villain is pushing you over the railing, so your agility is 3. Grab 3 dice, and of course you make it. Very good. If you succeed, you manage to recover your balance. Engage in a single combat round against the villain. If you fail, take 1d6. Well, we didn't fail because we're awesome. So, single combat round. 2 for you versus 6 for me. Saves me the trouble of coming over there to do it anyway. 1, 2, 3, and that's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And you go home. And that's what kind of prevents people from ganging up on this thing and just overwhelming it, is that when you hit him, it's a single combat round, so he goes back home. So he comes out so that you have that chance each round to take your shot. But then if you fail your shot, then, or even if you succeed at it, he goes home and he's not out there for everybody to keep hitting again and again and again. Oh, I forgot about the hunter, because he was down here. I know that's probably what half of you were thinking. Why are you not using the hunter, you moron? And, yeah, that's why I forgot about it. Yeah, I would. Okay. Alright. So that's that. That was 1, 2. I'm going to stay looking at the house on Haunted Hill. The candlestick. Candlestick sits on a table, giving off just enough light to see the room by. It looks heavy, but if you take it, you won't be able to see to leave. You decide to risk it. Make a perception check to see if you can get out of the room. If you succeed, attach candlestick to get a combat. If you fail, you bump into the door and take 1d3 damage. Well, you have 1 perception, because you had to be bad at something. Okay, so you failed that, and you take 2 of the damage out of your 6. Okay, that's 3, and 1 more in the house on Haunted Hill. Medical bag. Item. This bag is filled with things that help. Place medical bag in your inventory. Put 3 counters on it. Does not need to be equipped to use. As an action, you may remove a counter to heal yourself or any other player 1d6. If there's no counters on medical bag, remove it from the game. This way you can't keep getting it back and back and back, because that would have been kind of cheap. Boom, boom, boom. So we can heal 1d6 with this. He's got 2, and that was our 4. Okay. You're going to 5, which is the school. Top 3. That looks like a enemy. That's a pair of sneakers. And this was, oh, your report card. So nope, these 2 get discarded. And coach. So that is dink. +1 here. We might lose the jock because of the coach. Spectral Rage. The ancient burial ground uses spectral power +1 as combat. Perform a single combat round against each player. So it adds 1 to this. So it is a 4 for this fight because it's angry. But still, it's 4 versus 7. I think we're going to be okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 versus 1, 2, 3, 4. I should get my dice tray. 1, 2, 3 for us. Stay on the 3. Versus 2 for them. Oh. You know what? I grabbed 5. Well, I guess I should roll that again just to be fair. No, I'm going to give it the 2. That was my fault. So yeah, 2 to 3. So we give it 1 damage. Okay. Alright. So now, that was you, that was you. We really should go after him. Let's do it. 4, 5, 6, 7 versus 3. Now we have the right number of dice. That's a lot of hits. We did that, so we did 2 damage to him. Okay. Boom. Alright, so that's 1, because we walked over to do that. We should take on the coach, just so we can get that much needed clue. Coach is 5. I believe the coach was 5. Everything on top of my head says it. Yeah, he's 5. Versus our 7. This one may not go well. 5 for the coach. Well, the coach got 1. We got 2. Good. Good for us. So, we beat the coach and set the coach over here. Grab our handy dandy clue. And now, since we did 1 over there, that's a free one. That was a free one. 2 is encountering the school. Food fight. The ruined cafeteria transforms into a place full of children with food in their hands. They throw it everywhere. The food sizzles on the walls and eats through concrete. Make an agility check to get out. Well, that's 3 for us. No, we did not get out. You're hit by flying food. Suffer 1d3 and move to a random location. 3 damage. Well, I think I know what we need to do. We move to 6. We gotta use one of these charges. We heal 4. I can live with 4. That food fight was not the way I hoped it would go. Alright, so 1, 2, 3. What's that smell? You enter a room in the basement filled with pipes and valves that look rusted from disuse. A noxious smell fills the room. Hissing comes from the pipes. Make a perception. You're a 1. Oh, you got it. Good. You find the right valve to turn. You make it out of the room and may move to another location as a free action. Okay, so let's move to this. Let's move to the museum. And our last one is the Crystal Skull. Make a perception check to listen to the Crystal Skull, or we can smash it with a combat check. Let's do the smashing. I like smashing. Oh my goodness. Well, here's the thing. If we would have smashed it, we would have dealt 1d3 damage to the villain. However, because we failed to smash it, we got nothing out of 7 dice. It happens. The skull bounces and hits you in the face. Suffer 1d3 damage. Yep, we're taking that. So we take 2 damage. We deserve it. Alright, so that's our 4. He's moving 2. Location 1. Here goes nothing. Nope. Nope. And there it is. Okay, so the animal stays on top. This goes to 4. Which means all of you are gone. Well, the damage is gone. We keep the clue. That's 3 out of the 5 needed. And we now become the older brother. But at least we've got a clue. We got these 2 guys. We got all of this. This sets back to 1. Yeah. Possession. Choose a random player. That player must make a nerve check. So yeah, choose a random player. That player must make a nerve check. My nerve is 2 on this new guy. So we succeed there. We resist the possession. Reduce the spectral power by 1d3. If it goes to 0, place the marker at 1. Well, no matter what it is, it would go to 1. There we go. So that one was a good one for us. Yeah, that's one of the very few ones in there that are, I think there's 2 of them, of possession that are going to reduce the spectral power. Because we didn't want this to be just a sitting, constantly fighting back and forth, back and forth. We wanted this to be, oh my god, they're taking everybody. How can we get rid of this? How can we repel these these spectral power or these spirits so quickly? Yeah. All right, so we are going to take a look at the museum again. Attach Curator, +1 to any check on a villain card. That's good for us. That's 1. 2 is the Tour Guide. Attach Tour Guide. You may detach a clue to add your perception to any skill during your check. So that's a 3. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to come over here to the bad guy. And we're going to say, hey, we're going to have to talk to you. That's 2, 4, 5. Detach this for 3 more. That's 8. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. Versus 1. I mean, if you're going to do it, now would be the time. And I got a whole 2 out of all 8. And they got 1, so we deal 1. Oh, that was the other possession. Okay, that was the other one that could have reduced it. Excellent. So, you go home. Yeah, let's try to attack the enraged gator. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 versus 1, 2, 3, 4. Never thought I'd be saying those words. Let's attack an enraged gator. But hey, well, let's try it. 2, 3, 4, 5. That's ours. We got 1, 2 versus 1. So we get a clue. Too bad we don't get the knife. Now let's explore. Swamp Rat. Attach Swamp Rat to gain +1 perception. We got a lot of allies. 1, 2, 3. Swamp Surveyor. Yeah, Supervisor. Apparently I'm stoned today. A defiant scream draws your attention. You go around a stand of trees and see a woman in the coils of a large snake. Can you free her? Snake 3 combat. Well, 3 versus 5. We got this, right? 1 to 1. Let's do that again. 1, 2 to 2. Okay, you know what? I'm not taking that from you, Mr. Snake. Nothing to nothing. 1 to 1 again. 3 to 1. Oh my goodness. The snake is killing me here. Two. Okay, so we got him. If you defeat the snake, attach Swamp Surveyor to gain +1 combat. If you're forced to go to a random location, you may instead choose the location. Okay, stay there on that. Alright. 3. That might have been 3. Jake. Attach Jake to gain a combat. That's good. Okay. Now it's their turn. You're going to go to 5. Back to school. 1. A 2. A 3. No, no. But yes to this one. So that goes up 1. Then we bring out Haunting. Terror stalks the first player. Roll 1d6. 1. The ghost appears. Make a heart check, which that check is your this minus whatever your damage is. So I would 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we succeeded at that. Gain 1d3 clues and increase the spectral power by 1. So we get 2. We're getting good clues this one. He needs 2 to go, and he's almost on number 4. Okay. Well, what can we say? What can we say? We got quite a few allies. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 left. Quite a few allies. Bang. We gotta do this. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 to 3. That was what you call a pretty decent hit. So we did 4 damage to it. Then you go back home and we do ours. I'm still going to go to this. You know what? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to take on that Yeti. The older brother encounters up to 2 different locations other than the villain's starting area without moving. Yeah. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 1, 2, 3 versus 1. Okay, we beat the Yeti. Yeti was free. You are 4 combat. Okay. 4 versus 7. 1, 2. Okay, so we got that one too. 1 clue for the Yeti, 1 clue for that one. Let's see. Thin ice. A pack of dogs chase a couple out over an icy lake. Make a agility check, which is a handy dandy 1 for me, and I failed miserably. Overturn cards from any location until you come to an ally. Remove that ally from the game because they drowned. Let's take it from the museum. That's an item. Item. There's an ally. Removed from game. Okay. That was 2. 3. The climber. A scream causes you to run faster than you thought possible. You get to the edge of a cliff and you see fingers grasping the edge, slipping. You reach down and grab her hand. Make a combat check. Well, I think we can handle that one. Of course, I said that before. Yep, okay, we got this one. Succeed, you save her. Attach climber to gain +1 nerve. We got like a party here. If anything, when you're abducted, maybe only keep 1 of each. No, we're still cruising along pretty good. I mean, it still seems okay. And we've got a good bunch of hits in. Maybe. Maybe only keep 1 of each. Ooh, another hunter. They would be friends. Let's see, make a agility check. I actually passed the agility check, so we get +2 combat for this. Oh my goodness. That's 7, 8, 9 versus 5. Doesn't guarantee a win, of course, but 9 versus 5 is odds that are pretty decent. Not in this case, granted, because there's that. But I'm just going to spend 1 of these and reroll all of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we got 'em. Yeah, I think that might be the best way to go with this. That might be the best way to go, is you keep 1 of each. This way you get to pick and choose which one you want, so you're customizing the next character, and you don't get to overwhelm anything. think that might be the best way to go. So there we go. That was 4. 90% sure that was 4. Let's see. Yeah, attach Hunter to gain 2 combat and 1 nerve. So he goes to 5. That's gone. 1. Oh, there it is. There we go, dropping everything. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Why did I put that at the ski lodge? So, yep, that goes up to 4, which unfortunately abducts the older brother. That's at 4. Drop this back down to 1, and we do this. Where am I? The voice comes from all directions. There's no way to know where it's coming from. Each player must make a nerve or perception check. Well, let's see which one we're making. Nerve and perception. So nerve, I have 1, 2, 4 and 4 I have of each. Okay, so since it's just a 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Not a guarantee by any means, but we did. Okay, so we gain. The voices lead you to an ancient manuscript. Gain a clue, but increase the spectral power by 1. And yeah, that's why I'm thinking you're only keeping 1 of each, because we go over to here. He has a 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 versus 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. 4, 6, 7, 8. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. Versus 2. 1, 2, 3, 4 to nothing. And 1, 2. We win. So yeah, that's the way the ancient burial ground sometimes. It's the gist of it, but I really do think that reducing this to only keeping 1 of each, 1 item, 1 ally, and 1 clue, that might work. Because this was just it wasn't technically a mauling. He was 2 away from completing it, so he wasn't doing too bad. Let me try this again. Not now, of course, because it's getting cray late. But we'll try this again, and I'll make my decision then. But he didn't really do that badly. He could have won this one easily. Alright, so yeah, that's the ancient burial ground. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you'd like to see in future villains, like we've been talking about, and I really appreciate the voting. I'll get to tallying all that up as soon as I can, and we'll see where we go from there. I look forward to unlocking the extra characters and the 3 new weather effects, and then we'll move on to bigger and better.